Good evening. Good evening, everyone. In the absence, excuse me, in the absence of our chair, Candace Camira, my name is Audrey Ware, and I'm the vice chair. I'll be conducting the meeting this evening, so we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first on the agenda is our public comment. If we have any persons wishing to make public comment during this meeting on any items not listed on the agenda, you may do so at this time. Please come forward to the microphone and state your name and address.
Oh, thank you, Audrey. Benjamin Hartraft, Lansdale, Pennsylvania, Montgomery Township. Tonight, I'm here to express to the board about an idea for sensory training and sensory stuff for people with special needs on the autism spectrum. I think we need more training on more stuff for people with special needs in this community, and I think it needs to be done. I just want to thank you guys for doing stuff for April for Autism Acceptance Month. Just really kudos to all of you. But I think there needs to be more, and I think we need to do more training for people with special needs. I just want to say that I am thankful for being here. I'm very excited to tell everybody I'm going out to Pittsburgh by myself in July. Can't wait to represent Montgomery Township when I go out in July. I'm driving across the state by myself. A little nervous, but scared, but I got this, and I'm pretty excited. So thank you.
Thanks, Ben. And you're going to be fine. Any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Next on our agenda is our consent agenda. This is, like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented for the following. So this represents our minutes of the April 25th, 2024 board meeting, payment of the May 13, 2024 bills, escrow release number 2 and start of maintenance for Krispy Kreme, ratification of real estate tax appeal settlement 1201 to 1281 Knapp Road, ratification of real estate tax appeal settlement 145 to 165 Witchwood Drive, ratification of real estate tax appeal settlement 0 Witchwood Drive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Any public comment?
Public comment? That's right, got a public. None? Great. Now we're going to some fun stuff. Recognizing of our police officer commendations. I'm turning this over to Chief Bendig.
Good evening. In conjunction with Police Week, it's my honor to recognize several members of our department for their exceptional performance in the line of duty, as recommended by the Police Department's Award Committee. This award committee, appointed by the Chief of Police, considered those cases of outstanding police performance as nominated by the officers' supervisors. Our first award will be in a letter of official commendation. I'd ask Sergeant Joseph Schott, Detective Todd Walter, Officer Daniel Rose, Officer Michael Jenkins, Officer Benz Thomas, Officer Eric Hernandez, and Officer Hannah Moran to please step forward. On Friday, July 14, 2023 at 7:35 p.m., officers were dispatched to a report of a burglary in progress in the 1200 block of Welsh Road in Montgomery Township. Officers arrived and spoke with the victims, who reported arriving home to find that someone had broken into their residence. Upon approaching the home, They located 2 subjects inside. The 2 subjects fled the home with items belonging to the victims, escaping on foot into a nearby wooded area. Responding officers immediately set a perimeter and coordinated with neighboring jurisdictions and a canine to locate the subjects. While patrolling the area, an officer observed the subjects running across Kenwood Drive onto Signal Hill Court. Upon observing the 2 subjects, a new perimeter was established. A subsequent search resulted in the location and apprehension of the 2 subjects for burglary and related offenses. A canine article search of the area was conducted, resulting in the discovery of items taken during the burglary that were discarded by the subjects as they fled. The Montgomery Township Detective Division further assisted in the investigation by logging of digital evidence and conducting formal interviews with the victims. Your teamwork and dedication to public safety enabled the arrest of the actors and return of stolen property to the victims. I commend you all for your behavior and your actions as officers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. Do we want to read our motion first?
Oh, we have to do our motion.
Yep.
So we're going to motion to recognize and commend the identified law enforcement personnel for their outstanding performances in the line of duty.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comment? Guys have it.
All right. Well done. Nice job.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for-
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Thank you so much for your service.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Great work as always. All right. Great work.
Well done, guys. Thank you.
Picture?
Picture.
All right. How are you? We're not here.
Everyone, 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks everyone. Thank you very much.
Our second commendation is a letter of official commendation for Detective Sergeant Andrew Benner and Detective Ricardo De Jesus. Sergeant Benner, step forward. On March 12th, 2024, at approximately 5:31 p.m., officers were dispatched to the area of Westgate Drive and Longley Drive for a report of a jogger who was assaulted. Initial interviews with the victim indicated that a subject had attacked her as she was jogging, inflicting physical injury. The incident garnered significant public interest throughout the region, concerning and frightening the general public and residents of our township. Extensive follow-up investigations were conducted by Detective Sergeant Benner and Detective De Jesus, which included obtaining and analyzing area security footage, as well as interviewing neighbors and other related parties. After significant investigative efforts, Detective Sergeant Benner and Detective De Jesus determined that there was never any danger to those in our community. Detective Sergeant Benner and Detective De Jesus' hard work and dedication led to a positive conclusion of the investigation and helped quell those concerns for public safety. Thank you very much.
Picture now?
Three, two, one.
Here we go.
Wow.
Gotta be one, doesn't it?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, got a call.
These next two presentations I'm presenting with Chief Wegman as well. These next two accommodations recognize not only members of the police department, but also our public safety partners with the fire department of Montgomery Township and the Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale. With us this evening is Lynn Cohn from the American Red Cross to present the two awards for life. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you all so much for having us at the start of your meeting. It's really important that we get to recognize 25 heroes with certificates of extraordinary personal action for their life-saving efforts on two separate incidents. My name is Lynn Cohen, and I'm the Executive Director of the American Red Cross of the Delaware Valley Chapter. We serve Delaware, Chester, and Montgomery County. The certificate of extraordinary personal action is given to those who step up in an emergency situation to help save or sustain a life. These individuals exemplify the mission of the American Red Cross to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. We commend each one of them for their willingness to help others in times of distress. I'd like to recognize and also thank Bill Wegman for submitting both of tonight's nominations. So thank you so much. First, we're honoring 9 first responders from the Montgomery Township and the Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale for the steps they took to save Mr. Jenkins' life last November. The incident took place on the evening of November 10th, 2023, when Montgomery County Township Emergency Services was dispatched to a home on Hopkins Court for a cardiac arrest. Police Sergeant Lee Wagner and officers Brian Schreiber and Eric Hernandez found the resident unresponsive, turning blue, and having trouble breathing. The 3 officers attached the resident to an AED, delivered a total of 3 shocks, and performed CPR. Next, the Department of Fire Services arrived at the scene. Captain Rachel Gibson, Captain Andrew Weiner, and firefighter Brandy Beluskowitz assisted by performing high-quality pit crew style chest compressions. And I'm sorry if I butchered anyone's name. Battalion Chief and Paramedic Adam Z, he said I could call him that, provided airway control and manual ventilations using a bag valve device. The Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale arrived on the scene next. Paramedic Joseph Ross provided an advanced life support assessment, manual defibrillation medication, ECG, and advanced patient care. Advanced emergency medical technician Joseph Volgensang provided vascular infusion treatment and assisted with medication. The resident achieved return of spontaneous circulation. Thanks to the collective efforts of everyone involved, the resident survived. Mr. Jenkins survived. Mr. Jenkins, would you like to come forward? Pleasure to meet you. So we thought it would be nice if Mr. Jenkins helped pass out the awards for this incident. So please come up to receive your certificate when your name is called. Eric Hernandez. Ryan Schreiber. Lee Wagner. Rachel Gibson. Andrew Weiner. For your service. Great job. And then Joseph Ross. Thank you for your service. And Adam Z. Thank you for your service. And Brandy Beluskowitz. And Joseph Volgensang. Thank you for a great job. And then I think we were going to do a group photo real quickly. Is that everyone for this group? Yes. Group photo?
Very well done. Great job. Thank you for your service. Oh, well, she's got to go down. Maybe just. That should be the focus. That's the money shot with Mr. Jenkins. Yes. There we go. Unbelievable.
You got everyone out, we're good.
No, wait.
Yeah. You guys, over here, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing it. Everyone, 3, 2, 1.
Next, we're honoring first responders from Montgomery Township and the Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale, along with 2 citizens, for the steps they took to save Mr. Pep's life on the afternoon of November 17th. Mr. Pep, would you like to come up and help hand out the awards? Montgomery Township emergency responders were dispatched following a report of a man in cardiac arrest near the intersection of Lansdale Avenue and Crestwood Drive. The resident was out for a jog when he suddenly collapsed. Matthew DeCesare was driving when he observed the resident collapse. Mr. DeCesare stopped his car, approached the resident, and began CPR. Joshua Bridge, who was also driving past the scene, stopped his car, called 911, and assisted with CPR. The gentleman continued with CPR until the police department arrived at the location. Officer Dan Rose took over CPR when he arrived on scene. Officer Hannah Moran arrived and administered shocks with the AED. Mr. DeCesare and Mr. Bridge assisted with traffic control until Montgomery County Township firefighters arrived to help with both traffic control and patient care. They included Captain Andrew Backlund, EMT Jacob Weltman, EMT Robert Roy, firefighter Harry Reese, and Assistant Chief John Scheider. Sorry, John. Is that right or wrong? The Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale also arrived on location and began patient care. Paramedic Mariah Cox provided suction, EKG, and medication. Chief Shane Wheeler performed a series of advanced imaging and monitoring tests. Paramedics David Humps and Stephanie Traub provided IV therapy. Thanks to the collective efforts of everyone involved, Mr. Pep survived. So please come up to receive your certificate when I call your name, and please remain standing so we can get a picture. So Peter Byrne. Thank you. Joseph McGuigan.
Stay standing.
Joseph Schott. Hannah Moran. Jake Weltman. Harry Reese. Andrew Backlund. Mariah Cox. Shane Wheeler.
Good going, Andrew.
And Shane, thank you for your service. And David Humps. Thank you for your service. Stephanie Traub. Thank you for your service. Did I say it right? Oh, and Matthew DeCesare. Matthew. So I just
That was amazing.
so yeah. I just want to say that they're clapping so wonderfully and recognizing you because a lot of people don't stop to take action. A lot of people would just drive by. And so it is such a huge deal that you stopped and took the time to care and be compassionate and help in that Thank you for helping congratulate these wonderful heroes. We really appreciate it.
Great work.
Thank you so much.
So glad you're here.
I apologize. That's all yours.
Small
I
world.
Thank you so much.
He's a good guy, I'm telling you. All right, I have a new story to tell now. That's unbelievable. Wow.
Let's go, you guys have an angle.
I'm like, I have chills. I'm like, and you guys do this. This is your thing. You run dirty. But then this guy's been like, sign him up. Right? It's instincts. He details. They know you. He details. He comes to your house. He does a really good job, by the way. I can do all the dirty work. Wow. I know. Oh, nice. But I mean, this is why I love our community. Does he live here? We're here.
Yeah.
We should do this. We need to do this. Because I know you guys do stuff all the time. Oh my gosh.
So just so we can formally make our motions to recognize the individuals for their life-saving actions that took place on November 10th, 2023, and for the individuals for their life-saving actions that took place on November 17th, 2023. I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any public comment? Thank you all. Well done. Thank you.
I have one last thing. Lastly, this evening, we would like to recognize the members of our community who will be graduating from our Citizens Police Academy tomorrow evening. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lieutenant Peoples, 32 residents participated in our Citizens Academy this year. This 8-week program, instructed by members of our department, enables community members to gain valuable insight into policing in our community, including talking about SWAT, the K-9 unit, patrol investigations, patrol division, highway safety, and detective division. I'd ask the members to come on up here. Everyone that's here from our Citizens Academy, if you would please step up here. Just want to recognize you and thank you for you coming out here today. Again, this has been an awesome program. We've been doing this for a long time, and we just thought it was important for everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out over these past 8 weeks. We'll have a nice graduation ceremony tomorrow. But again, we appreciate all the support that you provide our department and all of your interest, and we look forward to working with you in the future with our programs with the community and bringing you out to help us kind of spread our message to to those that we serve. So thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you coming out tonight and participating. So thank you so much.
Okay, that's fine. You make sure that's not everyone on the wall.
All right, that's it. All right.
We got one more motion. Are you gonna?
Yeah, I just wanted to
Just waiting.
let it die down a little bit. Really should have did it while they were in here, but. So we have one more motion to recognize the members of our community who completed the police department's 2024 Citizen Police Academy.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any public comments? Public is leaving. You guys have it. Thank you.
No one
In the
wanted to.
future, just
stay
make
for
sure you
the
do
sewer
public
authority?
comment before the vote. So motion second, public comment, then vote.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, moving right along, we have item number 8, our proposed text amendment, Montgomery Township Municipal Sewer Authority Cell Tower. Carolyn McCreary, Township Manager.
Thank you. This evening, Montgomery Township Municipal Sewer Authority Manager Shannon Drosnock and Solicitor Joseph Walsh are here to speak to you about a proposed text amendment to permit the construction of a cell tower at the Eureka Wastewater Treatment Plant. Also in attendance is Mike Malloy Esquire, who represents Rise Up Towers. They're going to make a presentation and take questions from the board, and you'll be able to hear what their plan is and moving forward, what the next steps would be. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Joe Walsh. I'm the solicitor of the Montgomery Township Sewer Authority. We're here tonight to answer any questions that the board has with regard to a proposed text amendment to your ordinance, which would permit the authority to place a wireless telecommunications tower on its plant down at the Eureka plant. We had numerous discussions with the township staff as well as your solicitors regarding the situation. I know that the board had expressed some interest in having our authority reach out to the neighboring community to see what the reaction would be. So we had a letter prepared, actually went out under the letterhead of Rise Up Towers that was sent out to the residents in the immediate vicinity of the Eureka plant. In terms of the scope of the mailing, we followed the township ordinance with regard to notification in the context of a variance, because that seemed to be appropriate. In response to the mailing that we sent, we've received one email from an individual on Gift Circle. She sent an email April 20 of 2024 to Shannon Drosnock. The email actually was interesting. About 75% of it talked about her concern about the increase in her taxes. The remainder talked about the potential tower and its visibility from her house. Ms. Drosnock immediately responded on April the 22nd and explained exactly what we were proposing to do in terms of the tower. Since then, that particular resident never responded back to us. We have not received any other contact from any other residents, either pro or con. We just haven't heard anything else. So with that, we would like to move forward with possibly having the tower on our property. The tower serves a number of purposes for the authority, not to mention the fact that we will generate hopefully some significant income to the authority, which will help in the reduction of our rates. But the most significant impetus for this from the authority's perspective is the fact that we have communication issues in that particular sector of the township. Shannon could speak to that. She's the executive director of the authority. But the communications between her staff members, even in the plant area, sometimes is extremely spotty. When we first had these discussions with Rise Up, they reached out to a number of carriers. There's a substantial amount of interest in this particular tower, again, because of the fact that this particular area of the township is in need of another tower to enhance the telecommunications. With that, I have Mike Malloy here. Mike is he's a partner at Obermeyer firm. He is also the attorney for Rise Up Towers. Shannon Drosnak, who you all know, is the executive director of the authority. We're all here to answer any concerns you have, any questions that you have. But essentially, what we are proposing is that the board approve a text amendment to its ordinance, which would not put us on the parity of the township, but would at least provide the authority with the ability to place this tower on its property with certain restrictions, and we're happy to abide by those restrictions without the need to seek a zoning variance from the zoning hearing board. We have a proposed spot on the property. We've had a number of site visits from different engineers. I believe we selected a spot which is as far removed from the roadway as possible in an area which is the least visible for the neighboring community, and would also be a spot where it would, serve the purpose of aiding the communications network in that area. So with that, Shannon, I don't know if you have anything to add, or do you want to have Mike just go through the presentation?
I would like to add that we are in the middle. We were awarded a grant for a physical security project at Eureka, the wastewater treatment plant. And part of the problem with being able to enhance our physical security is that we need to have better communication and a redundant communication system at the plant. As Mr. Walsh had mentioned, we have a huge dead zone in our plant. And so it's difficult for us to have the communications necessary for us to be able to secure the plant going forward for the future beyond just the limited security we have at this point. So that would be a large enhancement for us.
Thank you. Mr. Malloy, if you want to.
Great. Well, thank you. Sorry, my name's Mike Malloy. I work for Obermeyer, Redmond, Maxwell, Hipple. I also serve as general counsel to Rise Up Towers. You may see my name in different areas twice for that. But Rise Up Towers started about 2 years ago, and it's the idea of a guy named Nick Poland. And 10 years ago, Nick, when the iPhone came out, realized that there's going to be more cell towers. And so he started to go to municipalities, generally in Bucks County, where he was sort of connected and located. And he built 13 towers for municipalities. And when he sold those towers, they had one antenna. But I can tell you the ones in Middletown Township in Bucks County, where I grew up, now have 4. And so, not to start with the revenue generation, but it's a long-term bankable asset that will throw off income for the authority for the next 25 to 50 years, depending on the technology. The way that Rise Up currently is working with Lower Gwinnett, Upper Dublin, trying to work with Upper Dublin, definitely working with Lower Gwinnett, and a bunch of other places in and around Delaware County, Chester County, and Montgomery County, all with the same model, reaching out first to municipal entities like the sewer authority, like the township. We always say, give us your salt sheds and your dirt piles and stuff like that, and we'll take a look at them. And it works one of two ways. Either we're taking properties that, for instance, the authority provided us, and then marketing them through our contacts to T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, and we work mostly with T-Mobile. They will tell us where they have a need. And the need in 2024 is not just a coverage need anymore. We have fewer dead spaces than ever, except for Lower Gwinnett down on Somebody Town Pike. But there are fewer dead spaces, but what's happening is, and this is where Nick Poland's idea kind of came in with the perfect timing on this again. Once COVID happened and we all went home and we worked from home and we did our things and everything like that, it taxes the capacity of the system. And so smartest guy, he comes up, he says, you know, I'm going to do this again. We're going to go out to municipalities. We're going to pitch this, you know, this idea because their systems are taxed now, and people are trying to work, trying to watch TV, trying to have their kids, you know, go to school. We're doing one in Morgantown right now. Verizon and T-Mobile both need coverage. It's next to the Twin Valley High School. Why do you need the coverage? Because the high school is saturating, like it's just sapping the network. And so they need another tower to sort of provide that coverage up there as an example. So, and that's sort of what's happening here. You'll see up on the screen. And by the way, I mean, we've worked with Shannon. We're always open to other suggestions on location, but we picked a location in the rear of the facility. And then we picked some views around, and we did photo simulations. It's a tower. It's not, I'm going to tell you, it's not pretty. I mean, there's no way to make it pretty. They don't do flagpoles anymore because the stuff can't fit into the array can't fit in. They've gotten bigger, and trees look awful. I think they look terrible. I always say, you can't tell me where the nearest cell tower is, but you can tell me where the nearest tree cell tower is, you know, because they just stand out. We're always open to suggestions though, but I kind of always preface it up front. I'm not here to sell it on its beauty. It's a function, you know, that's necessary. I will say Rise Up, as an aside, also will mount any municipal equipment rent-free, free of charge. They put it up. You just have to deliver it at the site. I have a 2-page lease agreement that I'll give to Sean, you know, for it. So anything emergency services, fire, ambulance. Rise Up's first tower in Oxford Valley that replaced it's the Sesame Place water tank, if anybody remembers that, Big Bird. That was a decrepit old water tank that was falling apart and in danger of blowing across the highway there. So they took it down. There's a cell tower there now, but there's 4 municipal antennas on that one, all serving different emergency services mainly, and 1 utility. So with that, I will show you from view 1. And view 1, I'm sorry, was from the street. Sorry, yes, the front of the. If I could, I'm not anybody.
Do we know the month that this was taken? That one of the things I noticed with the photos that we have some trees. You know, what does it look like in the wintertime, dead of winter? Are there still leaves? Is it even more prominent at that point?
Pretty sure this was like, I want to say fall, or when was this? When did we was it about a year ago? We've been working at this for so long. I can't recall. The trees were in though. Yeah. I think that's, yeah. I can get that information for you, for sure. So that's how it looks back into the distance in the rear of the facility, from Lower State Road.
And if you're familiar with the property, across the street is actually Horsham Township.
Mm-hmm.
We did not notify those residents because it wasn't in our statute to do so. But in terms of the location, if you're familiar with the plant, the main gate, if you look all the way back to essentially almost the rear of the property and a little bit to the left, that's where it's going to be situated. I think, and we evaluated at least a half a dozen spots on the property. Again, we had to keep it in an area where would have the optimal functionability, but also the least visibility from the neighbors. So
I'll put the first one up again so you can see
it's
the
a
site
5-acre plant too, if you're curious about the size of it.
And I guess what are we at 5G with the cells then that they'll be placing?
Yes, but the technology, and this is not my specialty, so I'll try to give you the best answer that I've heard from our RF people. It changes all the time. They're constantly upgrading their systems and constantly looking for ways to compete against each other for service, for coverage and capacity. So probably yes. I mean, I don't think they would go backwards. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to put the latest and greatest stuff on the tower.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm so sorry that I'm not an expert here at getting this to work here. There we go. I'm just gonna scroll down here. View 2. I thought these were labeled too. I'm so sorry. I think that's from Gift Circle. It's Gift Circle and Poe Court, right? Is the next one. So right. This is from Gift Circle. So you can see it's a 150-foot tower. It is present. It is in the distance. I mean, you can see it. So
I would just add that the Sewer Authority Board has been discussing this for a while and vetted this through their process and unanimously approved it. So it has had a lot of scrutiny by their board as well.
now we'll go to the last one. And that is Poe Court, right? Poe Court.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you can see the tower.
It's there.
In terms of the location on your property, would this impede any development that you may need to do in 15 years? Would it be something that also would stand in the way of any sort of maintenance of the current or future? I just want to make sure that and I'm sure you have. I want to put it on the record like, yes.
That's a great question. This location that we're looking at is the prime location for us for 2 reasons. My understanding in speaking with Rise Up Towers, because I certainly am not an expert in cell communication, is that the area directly under the tower does not actually get the best signal, right? So the area of the plant that we want to hit the most is a little bit further away.
Mm-hmm.
So from an actual operation standpoint of the signal in the tower, the location we've picked is prime. Additionally, the location we've picked on the plant does not have any underground infrastructure. We don't have electrical lines going there. We don't have anything of that sort going there. It also, and this was our primary concern, where it would be located at the plant allows for us to grant access to the folks who need to maintain the tower without having to grant access to the Eureka plant. And that was our biggest concern from a security standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really, it's almost, I want to call it a dead area for lack of a better term, but it's the back left corner of our property. We keep our salt area there. So we're just going to relocate our salt that we salt for our roads on our plant. And it allows the access right down the line into there without us having to allow access into the plant. So that was a critical part for us. I did not want to be able to have them accessing the tower when we're not at the plant. And I didn't want staff to have to be on overtime to man folks at the plant. So this location fits kind of all of those parameters for us.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that.
So accessibility for the crane truck to put it in, install, upgrade, all that kind of stuff is very easy then.
Correct.
So under your ordinance, the township can put a tower on any of its land by right. At least that's how I read it, and I defer to Sean and your solicitor and your township manager, of course. But that's how I read it. And so when we presented the proposal, we proposed a very simple text amendment that includes the municipal authority in that ability to proceed by right. And that's as straightforward as it gets. We would ask for the text amendment to be passed, and we'd file for a building permit. I think the township, I mean, I don't know, it's discussed, but it could exert enough power. So I don't think the municipal authority at any time is going to go rogue. So it's just limiting the process, whittling it down for government land, and that's not dissimilar to other townships that we've encountered, and we're working with Laura Glennon on an ordinance change down there that's going to be substantially similar. They're going to go, and one of them is going to go in Penland Woods with the Bayonne. So,
and I know with my discussions with John Walko and also with Mary Ann, the township wanted to know exactly where we were proposing to put it, as opposed to just, taking the text amendment and sort of giving us carte blanche flexibility in terms of where we're placing it. So, and we were fine with that. I think that was a legitimate concern, and that's why we went through several, 2-3 site visits, walked the property, different areas. We had the security issues. You couldn't go too far back because we have wetlands back there, so we couldn't encroach on any of that. And this really did seem to be the optimal spot. And again, probably the least intrusive on the neighboring communities. So, but it is. I mean, it's a tower, but it is a sewer plant as well. We have huge tanks too that people see. You talked about with foliage. We have people every winter complaining about the fact that they have to look at the tank. And Shannon's been an extremely good neighbor. I mean, she's changed the lighting at the plant to try to accommodate some of the folks so that they wouldn't, have this bright like stadium lighting in their backyard. So we have tried to be a good neighbor.
So this is just a discussion at this point. We're not voting on anything this evening.
That's a question I had if we were actually voting. And then also, does this fully resolve the authority's operational issues? If this tower, does it take care of the problems that are occurring or not happening for you there?
It takes care of our problems at the wastewater treatment plant. We do have another location in the township where we have signal issues as well. This takes care of our ticket. Maybe later we'll talk about the other one. We're not ready to do that.
If I may, when staff reviewed this, one of our concerns was the sewer authority owns multiple properties in the township. Some are very adjacent to residences. So we were concerned about the type of language that would get put in, because the board right now is very responsive. The solicitor, the executive director, that could change in the future. So to give them by right for all parcels in the township and then have residents come in and say, I wasn't notified, the next thing I knew this was installed, regardless of what it is, we just wanted to be sure that the board had an opportunity to see this and understand. And Mary Ann, do you want to just elaborate a little bit from your perspective on the process and, going forward?
Any proposed text amendment would need to be completely reviewed and vetted by staff. Any setback requirements, any maximum height requirements, the facility compound requirements, abandonment issues. Should the tower ever be abandoned, what would happen at that point? That all needs to be, I think, included in the text amendment. During that review process, then we would present the full text amendment to you. Then you would have to authorize advertisement. It is a change to the zoning, Chapter 230, which require advertisement prior to adoption. So there is still more of the process that needs to go through.
And because it's zoning, it goes to the local planning commission, the county planning commission, public hearing, and I believe 2 advertisements.
Yeah, I just want to be sure that we're really making the community know that this is something that's going to happen, because of course, when the construction crane shows up, that's when they're going to say, hey, wait a minute. So we have to be really careful on that. So, and I know we will do a good job of that. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Do you have any other
appreciate your time.
Do you want a motion to ask?
We're good with the consensus that there was no issue with the board, so we'll move forward with the next steps and continue to work with the authority on the project.
Yeah, the solicitor reached out to me and said that invited us to come and sort of have a discussion about it to see if you had any concerns and to give you, a sense of where we were at in the process. And then, we're just wait to hear from you as to where you want to go with this.
I think to Supervisor Staub's point, we want to be as transparent as possible. So we really appreciate you taking the time to come out and make this presentation tonight.
Yeah, thank you. And Mary Ann, maybe I'll reach out and get you a copy of the plan and we can take a look at it and understand better what your office is going to require as we move forward, if that's okay with you guys. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know we have 2 other ordinances. I know you'll be getting to that, but we appreciate you at least moving those forward. One, the grease trap, and the other was a pollutant ordinance that needs to be done to satisfy Hatfield's requirements. So I'll hang around if you have any questions about those too. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 9, Quick Loop preliminary final land development application. Mary Ann McConnell.
So Quick Lube of Carolina is doing business as Take 5 Oil Change, has submitted a land development application to demolish the vacant building located at 737 Bethlehem Pike and construct a new 1,600 square foot building with 3 pull-through service bays and 11 parking spaces. It is just south of the 5 Points intersection in the commercial district. During the April 18th, 2024 meeting, the Planning Commission recommended that the Board of Supervisors grant preliminary final approval for the project, subject to compliance with comments contained in township staff and consultant review letters. We do have representatives this evening to present their proposed project to you.
Hi, good evening. Matt McHugh, attorney for the applicant. Also have here with me this evening, Lindsay Bralinger from Bowler Engineers, the civil engineer, Des Roberts in the back on behalf of the applicant, and also Greg Richardson from TPD, our traffic engineer. This is a project for a Take 5 oil change facility located at 737 Bethlehem Pike. Lindsay's pulled up the existing aerial plan, or the existing aerial over there. It's a little south of the 5 Points intersection and is next to the Love Car Wash, which I believe is open now.
Yes.
So that should orient everybody. It has existing access both on Bethlehem Pike and on Horsham Road. And the proposal here this evening is to demolish the existing vacant office building and replace it with a new 1,600 square foot 3-bay Take 5 facility. For those of you that are familiar with Take 5, they are a quick lube facility where all of the customers come in and they enter into the building through one of the bays. They provide oil change services, windshield wiper changes, change your air filters. All of the entire customer experience happens while they're still in the car. A typical transaction lasts about 10 minutes or so. So there's no reason for anybody to get out of the vehicle. They simply drive in, go through the bay, and have their service, and then they go on their way. There's 11 parking spaces proposed here. Frankly, those are used by the employees. So there's really no reason for a customer to park and get out of the car. There's no retail element to the transaction. Nothing is available for sale from a retail perspective. The project did go to the zoning hearing board. We received a special exception for the use. We also received some variances relating to loading, to setbacks and buffer yards. We've reviewed and received the Gilmore and Associates review letters, as well as all the other consultant review letters. We will comply with the exception of 6 waivers that we're seeking. We're happy to go through each of those waivers. I think they're very technical.
Maybe you can just go through them real quick.
Sure. Yeah. Lindsay, you want to do it?
Or I can go through them. Lindsay Bralinger with Bowler. So the first one is from sections 205.75 and 205.76 to allow for the combined submission of preliminary and final due to the nature of the project. The second waiver is from section 205-18D3D to allow for side slopes of the proposed rain gardens to be graded at 3-to-1. The ordinance currently requires a 4-to-1 side slope. However, the Pennsylvania Best Management Practice Manual allows for a 3-to-1 or even 2-to-1 in some cases. The third waiver is from section 205-52D3A to allow for more than 10 parking spaces within a row without a landscape island. So right now we have 11 parking spaces. We really do not have the ability to shift one way or the other due to building setbacks with the trash enclosure and then buffering from either frontage of the property. The fourth waiver is from section 205-52D3F to permit fewer than the required amount of shade trees necessary to shade every parking space. So based on our calculations, we're deficient about 5 trees. The fifth waiver is from section 205-18A3A to allow for the installation of storm pipes with an internal diameter of less than 15 inches. So most of the pipes on the site are either roof drains or actually like under drains within the rain garden footprint. So all of those pipes are typically, in any scenario, any roof drain pipe should be less than 15 inches. So we've run the calculations for the required, per your ordinance, for the required stormwater events to ensure that less than 15 inches is sufficient here. And the sixth waiver is from section 205-18D3F to permit for the design of the stormwater management facilities using the actual proposed impervious coverage instead of the maximum allowable. So we've designed the stormwater system, the above ground rain garden system, to comply with your ordinance for the impervious coverage that is on site. That's what that waiver is asking for. And those are
Yeah,
the six
and
waivers.
so each of those. Did Gilmore have any issues with any of those waivers? Or?
No,
Okay.
they did not.
Yep. No objection. And the planning commission also reviewed those and recommended that they be granted.
Great.
I'm sorry, can you say that
The
again?
planning commission reviewed those and also recommended that they be granted. Other than that, I think it's a pretty straightforward project. We're happy to answer any questions you have about either the operations or the plans. If not, we'd ask that you, we reviewed the resolution that's in your packet and we find it acceptable. We ask that you adopt it.
And you have sidewalks?
Sidewalks, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they'll connect on Bethlehem and I think both frontages to the ones where Love is.
Right, so along Bethlehem Pike and along Horsham Road, sidewalks.
Correct.
Perfect.
This might be a silly question, just because I'm not familiar with Quick Loop, but is it by appointment or you just show up and get it?
No.
It's
appointments.
never appointment. Okay. So is there ever like a backlog of people?
So even at, like I think
cars.
when we were looking at from a queuing perspective on the stacking,
Mhm.
so 10 minutes per transaction. About if they have 10 cars in an hour, that would be a busy hour.
Okay.
Really busy.
Real busy. Okay.
And just clarification on the trees. You said you were short by 5 trees. There's no place you can put 5 other trees?
Oh, so around the parking spaces.
Just around the parking spaces, but you can put those other places.
Yeah, and we have scattered to meet the other landscaping requirements. We have shown some additional trees. And we are, based on the township review letter, it's not shown here since this hasn't been updated to comply yet, but we are adding further landscaping within the actual rain garden areas. So if you can see my hand on the screen, so there's a rain garden located basically on the whole northern side of this Take 5 building. So we'll be adding some additional landscaping.
Okay.
there as well.
Because there's currently some mature trees on that property, it looks.
So there's a couple trees closer to the Love, so on the south side, which will have to be removed due to the location of the parking and the access and circulation for the building.
Okay, we just like trees.
Any other questions? Okay, well, let's make a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-08, approving the preliminary final land development application with requested waivers for
So
Quick
moved.
Loop of Carolina.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. So moved.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes
very
have
much.
it.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
You're welcome.
Okay, item number 10, to consider the award of contract for storm sewer infrastructure project. Gregory?
Good evening. The township received an open bid utilizing 10 bids on April 16th at the Township Building. With Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer reviewed the 7 bids ranging from $217,235 to $446,670 and is recommending to award the bid to GMB Construction, the lowest responsible bidder, with a bid of $217,235. The recommendation letter and bid tabulation sheets are included in your packet. The board authorized the advertisement of the bid at its public meeting on February 26th of 2024. A total of $305,500 has been included in the 2024 capital investment plan for stormwater improvements at the following storm sewer locations: 207 Pioneer Drive, 213 Pioneer Drive, 129 Gwynmont Drive, and 104 Flintlock Circle. So it would be our recommendation at this time to award the bid as recommended to GMB Construction, the lowest responsible bidder.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to award the contract for the storm sewer infrastructure improvements to GMB Construction, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $217,235 per the recommendation of Gilmore and Associate Township Engineer.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Item number 11, authorization to advertise ordinance amendments for the Montgomery Township Municipal Sewer Authority. Cameron McCurry.
Thank you. As Solicitor Walsh explained earlier, there is information in your packet tonight to amend our ordinance for relating to grease interceptors, sand, soil, and oil separators. The ordinance was last amended in February 2013. Solicitor Walsh was kind enough to provide the detailed information that's in your packet, so you would have a full explanation of why these need to be done. As you know, the sewer authority is regulated heavily by DEP. The grease traps become a very real concern for them in terms of the conveyance, the pipes that are being used to convey wastewater to the plant. And when there is grease accumulation, there is a problem with the sewer water getting through, resulting in possible I&I issues for the sewer authority. So tonight, we're asking that the board authorize the advertisement of the proposed ordinance amendment. And Solicitor Walsh is still here along with Ms. Drosnock if you have any questions and you want more details about a grease trap ordinance.
Tell us all the details.
Oh, don't even get Shannon
I'm
started.
kidding. I don't want to tempt you with that.
Okay, any questions, concerns? Make a motion to authorize staff to advertise the proposed ordinance amendment as outlined.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 12, the request authorization to purchase network equipment. Richard Greer.
All threw me off. Good evening.
Take care.
Shannon, you can send me that information. I'll read it later. I'm kidding. You don't have to.
Good evening. I'm here for the BAS number 12, request authorization to purchase network equipment for 2024 staff budget $23,500 and $38,000 for admin network switch upgrade and high availability township building, respectively. Attached are two quotes in your BAS or in your packets dated April 24th, 2024 from Omega Systems Incorporated, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program, to provide configuration and installation of equipment at a total cost of $31,713.14. A total of $61,500 was budgeted for the 2024 approved final budget information technology capital replacement for both projects. So we're coming in on $29,786 under what we budgeted. A big reason for that is because when we did the police switches last year, we installed Aruba enterprise class switches, and that's what we did our budgeting off of. IT department, Fabian and myself got some time to spend with Fortinet equipment, which is about half the cost, and we were really impressed with it. They have a very good reputation. So we figured for the firewall upgrades, which is what the HA part of this BAS is for, and the admin side of this building, we're going to go with FortiGate equipment from Fortinet. So much cheaper, and we are very happy with how they've performed.
How it's working.
So it's recommended that the Board of Supervisors approve the contract awarding for the reference purchases per the 2024 approved final budget.
Any questions?
No, but 2 items in a row that we're approving that were significantly under
Yeah,
budget, so.
yeah,
I
that's
know.
really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to award the contract for the purchase and configuration of network switches and firewalls from Omega Systems and authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at a total cost of $31,713.14 per their quotes.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Let's have
And
it.
supply chains are their own stock, which is another good thing.
They're
Another
in,
good sign.
and they're in stock?
And they're
Wow.
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 Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Rich.
Okay, item number 13, award of bids, municipal online surplus assets sale. Brian Shapiro.
Good evening. On April 25th, 2024, the Board of Supervisors authorized the sale of township surplus assets to the online auction company Municipal. Below are a listing of the bid offer details from the highest bidders. The township will receive $44,478 for the sale of surplus assets within 30 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors. It is recommended that it is recommended that the Board of Supervisors authorize the sale of the above listed items to the highest bidders as of close of bidding on May 8, 2024.
Okay, I don't think we have any questions. It's money in. Yeah. So this is a motion now to authorize the sale of the above listed equipment to the highest bidders as noted. Do I need to read them or are we okay?
No, it's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Motion.
So moved.
Second. Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Brian. Authorization for the sale of municipal equipment by online auction. Brian Shapiro.
The township by resolution is authorized to dispose of surplus assets through Municipal, an online auction company. Municipal assesses fees to the buyer only. The buyer fees are aggregate. There are no charges or fees assessed to the seller. The administration of the bid will be handled by township staff. The township must meet the advertisement requirements outlined in the second class township municipal code. There are 4 items that we are proposing to put on Municipal, and they're listed below. It is estimated that we will receive $2,500 in revenue from the sale of this equipment. It is our recommendation the Board of Supervisors authorize us to list the 4 items on Municipal for sale.
Okay, we'll make a motion to authorize the sale of the above listed equipment through the online auction company Municipal.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye. Just one question. When we sell this type of equipment, those funds get put back into the capital project fund, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, all right. Just wanted to verify that.
Okay, item number 15, the adoption of resolution recognizing National Police Week. Township Manager Carolyn McCreary.
Thank you. In your packet, you have a resolution. It's resolution 2024-10, recognizing the week of May 15th through May 21st, 2024 as National Police Week. Each year, the board has recognized National Police Week, which was established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962. And staff is recommending that the board continue this tradition and adopt the resolution and recognize National Police Week.
This is an easy one. Motion to adopt resolution number 2024-10, recognizing the week of May 15th through May 21, 2024 as National Police Week.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Adoption of resolution recognizing National Public Works Week. Carolyn McCreary.
Thank you. So each year, the Board of Supervisors also recognizes National Public Works Week, which was established in 1960 by the American Public Works Association. We are recommending the board continue the tradition and recognize the week of May 19th through May 25th as National Public Works Week.
Okay, make a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-11, recognizing National Public Works Week.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful. Last but certainly not least, the adoption of resolution recognizing National Emergency Services Week. Carolyn.
Thank you. In 1974, President Gerald Ford authorized Emergency Services Week to celebrate EMS practitioners and the important work they do in our nation's communities. We are recognizing that the board continue the tradition of recognizing the week from May 19th, 2024 through May 25th, 2024 as EMS Week.
Okay, we'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-12, recognizing the week of May 19th through May 25th, 2024 as EMS Week.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
And if I could
we have-
just add before we finish, since we're recognizing, police and fire tonight, I think, and you mentioned, Supervisor Bamford recognized about the fact that the bids have come in less. I can't tell you how hard the department heads work along with the finance director to make sure that they really do their due diligence when they're putting, their budget together and then following up. They don't just assume, well, here's the money I have in the budget, I'm not going to do my homework. And it's a lot to look up what, a vendor can say I'm on CoStars, and then Brian has to look and see, okay, number one, are they truly on there, or are they just saying that? Secondly, are they on there for what we're buying? Because they might be on for one thing, but not something else because they've expanded and forgot to notify the state. And also the bidding takes a process. We have to put together the documents. We have to make sure they're transparent, that everybody gets the same information. PennBid has been a real help in that regard, but still questions can come in. And if they do, we make sure we answer, and the answer goes out to everyone. So, we're getting close to halfway through the year, and they continue to do just incredible work to make sure that we're stewards of taxpayer money.
Excellent. Thank you, Carol. Thank you all.
I just had one quick announcement. On behalf of the North Wales Area Library, the board, which I serve on, as you know, did a search to find a new library director to fill the opening that was created when Jane Blackledge, our current library director, announced her retirement after 25 years in that position. Big shoes to fill. But we conducted a search, and I'm really happy to share that we have hired a new library director for North Wales Area Library. Her name is Jennifer Koch, and we're very excited to have her start. She starts in 3 days, and we are holding a welcome reception for her on May 30th. And I'd like to extend the invitation to all of our staff, as well as my colleagues on the board, to join us on May 30th from 5:30 to 7 at North Wales Area Library to greet and welcome Jennifer to our community.
Great. Is Jennifer from the area?
She's from actually outside of the area, but we're very excited to have her. She actually was at the Bethany Children's Home and was an archivist there. She has her master's degree in library and information sciences, and she's just incredibly enthusiastic and has a lot of great ideas on how to build on that really strong foundation that Jane created over these last 25 years. So we're really excited to bring her on board.
Okay, any other new or old business? I will make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for coming, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
I think we have a lot of resolutions